Welcome to Royally Quack, where we talk about everything related to the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings, the two NHL teams from Southern California. I'm your host, Cody Spink, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Gary Spink. In this episode, we'll recap the latest games, analyze the standings, and preview the upcoming matchups and talk about the upcoming trade deadline. Whether you're a fan of the Ducks or the Kings or both, this is the podcast for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, so you said you had a trivia question for me this
I do
time.
have a trivia for you. It's a two-parter.
Oh
It
boy.
has to do with both teams.
Okay.
Two-parter, both teams. I'll give you the easy one first
Okay.
because I don't think you'll get the second one.
Okay, let's go for it.
I'll be honest with you, if you did this to me, I wouldn't have gotten the second one. I
All
would
right,
have got the first one, which is the easy one for you.
let's do it.
Who scored the first goal for the Anaheim Ducks?
Oh God.
And be honest with you, I had to look it up, and when I saw it, I did remember it.
This is the
So,
easy one?
well, for you, it's going to be the easy one because the other one, I didn't have no clue. I thought it was somebody else.
Man, I was I was barely even alive at this time.
Well, funny, a little story, everybody. This is off our outline right now.
Yes.
When the Ducks had their very first practice, Cody was there in a stroller. He was there in a stroller. We went. It was my wife Vicky, his older sister Samantha, and his Aunt Judy, and we went to the practice and got to watch them on the ice.
Shout out Aunt Judy and Sammy. What?
Yep. Shout out. we're all in the family here. So I'm gonna
Who was
try to give you a hint. Let me see if I can't give you really a hint towards this player because he scored a first goal, but he wasn't that big in Ducks history.
That's probably why I don't really remember.
His first name, I believe, remember the guy who hacked God, was it your MySpace account?
Oh God,
And
Sean.
said, okay, first name of that player. You got that. Won't go any farther because that was a very bad boy.
I literally can't remember. So you stumped. I can't remember the top of my
Okay,
head.
so the second, I'll give you the second hint. This is going to be easy for you. Jack and Jill went up.
Sean Hill.
Sean Hill.
Oh, okay.
First Duck to score a goal. I know you're not. Now, the second part of the trivia is the King who scored the first goal. And hey, fans, if you get this before we give you the answer, give us a note about it. I want to know how many of you are that great at Kings fans, because I thought I was a great Kings fan until I looked this up today to pull one on Cody.
God,
you're not going to get it.
No. How about this?
Okay.
How about no? Don't tell me. Let's let our listeners. After I post this on Instagram, comment the answer, and we'll see if they get it right.
And then we'll get the right answer for you next on our next podcast. Little, hey, you got to come back, guys. So you want to know the answer if you don't already.
Yeah, you stumped me on both of those, so
yeah,
that's good though.
They're going to Google it and get it right in the first place.
Yeah, so it tells you I didn't cheat. So,
well, I didn't cheat last week because I did get 4, but I had help. I needed help for those last 2.
Yeah, so, you did good on that.
Yes.
All right. Well, before we get into the scores of the week, I just want to do a quick shout out to the Late Arrivals podcast for shouting us out on their Instagram story when we went live with our first episode and everything. So I want to thank Jake, Chris, Connor, and Lou. and everyone. I listen to them every week, so if you guys go check them out, Late Arrivals, they're on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. They do a weekly show, so and they do very vibes podcast, as they like to call it. So check them out, guys. I listen to them every week. You know, they really help out with my while I'm driving for work and everything like that. They get me through it. So just a quick shout out for them. I always appreciate the love that they give out. So
Awesome. Thanks,
yep,
guys. We
yep. Thank
appreciate
you
it.
guys.
We're going to go on to scores of the week. And with that was our predictions from last week. So the first game for the Kings was them at the hated Edmonton Oilers. And
Ugh.
my prediction was a 4-3 loss. Okay. I wasn't far off. It was
You weren't.
4-2. 4-2. Um, the sad part of that game is both Doughty and Gavrikov probably our two best defensemen. I mean, overall. I know, but I think Mikey was out, so can't. That's probably another fault for this. They were both -3. Byfield, he's getting scary, guys. 1 assist. He's. I don't know. I think he's the best forward right now, to be honest with you.
He's been
Um,
playing like the best forward
yeah,
almost all season.
he's been awesome. Moore and Lafreniere, I, guys.
Laferriere,
Yeah,
Laferriere.
guys. Thank you. I am the hockey butcher of names, so Cody will be correcting me, and then I'll call him Quacky Boy a few times. Okay, so I do mess up the names. It's just I'm sorry. I try, and I
That's
don't mean any offense to any of you guys on either team. I just have a hard time sometimes saying the names. They each had a goal each, but we had way too many penalties when we were down. We're down by a goal and two power plays in a row. And what I don't get about this season right now is, man, there's these big ups and these big downs. I feel like I'm going up and down a hill. Anyways, let's go to game 2. I predicted the Kings win 4-2, and
the
they
complete
lost four.
opposite.
They lost 4-2. So, kind of the highlights of that game: Kevin Fiala with a goal and assist. Doughty scored another goal, and I do believe I think there's 2 guys tied for first, and he's second in goals for defensemen this season. That's whatever that stick is. Keep using it and have plenty of backups in case they break. Because Doughty, you've been playing awesome offensively this season. You've really, as an older guy, you've brought your A game.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
he has to be worth that 11 million a year.
yeah, that's a lot of money, but I think he's earned it. Other than the -3 against Edmonton,
Yeah.
but listening to the game, because I'm working when these games are coming on, and we got outshot, outplayed by Calgary. They just outplayed us, And the thing is I don't think Talbot played all that bad. He had 33 saves on 36 shots. So I mean that's over 900.
Yeah.
And that's the whether you're decent or not goalkeeper. So let's move on to
Well,
uh,
real quick, for a team that's been selling off some of their main players this year,
they're playing
Calgary,
good.
they're playing pretty good lately.
They've been
Calgary's look good.
yeah, they're scary right now. They're one of the hot teams.
Yeah.
Now we go to Vancouver, and we're not playing a hot team, but yet they're still first in the Pacific. In fact, I think they're first in the whole conference.
Yes, they are.
And we beat them 5-1. Of course, I picked a 4-3 overtime win on that one. At least I got the win.
Yes.
But again, we're going to see some of the same names I keep talking about. Fiala had a goal and 2 assists. Doughty had 2 assists, and a goal and 2 assists. Byfield had 2 assists. Talbot, 22 saves and only gave up 1 goal, and that was on the power play. And you can't always blame being a man short and giving up a goal. Although we do have the number 1 power play or penalty kill in hockey right now, but Boy, we keep giving those up. That's going to change. Then I want to talk about today's game. Today's game, I picked it a 3-2 win over the New Jersey Devils. You know, maybe your Ducks tired them out the other night because that was a pretty good game. I listened to that game while I was driving for work, and that
Oh,
was a that was a good game.
we'll get into that game.
You I got stuff to say about that game too. So, but today, Phil Deneau, oh my god, he looked awesome. 3 goals, 3 goals.
The last one was an and one. He got fouled and he scored.
Yeah, well, they're not always going to give you the penalty if you score.
No, I
So,
know,
I mean,
but
even if they had the hand up, it would be
a delay game
nullified.
or a delay.
Nullified after he scored.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but Fiala had a goal and 2 assists, and
That
then
goal, I
Talbot.
saw that. I saw that goal by Fiala. It was that was Purdy right in the corner. It was a beautiful shot.
You know, he, the cost of getting him was Brock Faber, who's probably going to be rookie of the year this year. And
Well, it's either him or
when Brock
Bernard
was
right now.
playing really good, it started second guessing, did we make the right move? But I mean, he's a special guy in a lot of ways. I mean, he is so creative,
Yeah,
and he has the defense have to focus on him, which helps. That's why he's been getting more assists too lately. But you know, he hasn't been getting the penalties as much. Which, I mean, I think he was number one in penalties. I mean, he's not a beat you up kind of guy, but and a lot of times he's doing it in the offensive zone, and he's actually stopping that. Well, anyways, I'm happy with him. Talbot, 30 saves, 1 goal against.
did Talbot started all 3 games this last week or 4 games?
Did he? I think he did.
I thought Riddick was the hot guy, but Talbot's making a
You know,
comeback.
I
Good for
I
him.
can't say he played against Edmonton. It might have been Riddick. I didn't even have any notes on Riddick on that game.
I'll, I'll
We're
look. I'll
playing
look
the
it up.
Oilers and we lose. I'm not a happy guy. And we got outplayed in 2 games, and we outplayed the other 2 teams pretty handily. And that was actually the last 2 games,
Yeah.
Vancouver and New Jersey. So, and Trevor Moore had 2 assists in that game today. They played well. It was fun. I didn't get to watch the whole game because unfortunately we had some family um, people visiting from back east, and we had to go to Orange County and see them, and we had a great time with them. So if they do listen to the podcast, I'm not complaining. I had a great time tonight, having dinner with you guys and so forth. Can't wait to see you again. Anyways, that's my scores of the week.
Nice.
Are you looking up if Riddick played
Yeah,
on
yeah.
against Edmonton?
It was Riddick. Yes, he had 27 saves on, or no, he had 27 saves on 31 shots against.
So he gave
So
up all 4 goals.
yeah. All right, guys. It took us a while to finally get a game this week because the Ducks didn't play until Thursday. But Anaheim was in. We were in San Jose. I predicted a 4-1 win, and we ended up winning 6-4. 6-4. Henrique is building up his trade value with 3 points. He had a goal and 2 assists. Strome had a good game with 2 assists. Lacombe had a two assists that game. But the thing is, guys, 7 penalties. 7 freaking penalties. I think one of
Hey,
them was a fighting major, though. I
hey
think.
guys, just so you know, it says we do have notes. 7 penalties with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 question marks and 4 exclamation points. Question mark, exclamation point. Question mark, exclamation point.
It's
Point
so
made, Cody.
bad.
Point made. Point made.
Oh, but that's what's been killing us all year. Penalties, penalties. It's it's so bad.
Well,
We were 2 for 5 on the power play, and we got gave up 3 power play goals to the frickin' Sharks. I'm sorry, probably one of the worst teams in the league. We should not be giving up 3 power play goals to.
Well, you know what's funny? I know you got one more thing to say, and I'll let you. Let me just say this.
No, go ahead.
Um, a lot of times we talk after the games because he truck drives, I'm a courier. We're in the car, we're driving someplace, so we'll chat. And he's had a lot of complaints about little penalties sometimes that the Ducks get picked on, and not necessarily when it happens to the Ducks do they call it. But you know what's funny? I've been actually watching the Kings games, and they're getting picked on sometimes. Not I maybe not quite as much as the Ducks, but they're getting picked on. I mean, you know, you have Jim Fox. He's the analyst with and Daryl Evans is an analyst with Nick Nixon, and they're going, that wasn't a penalty. And I mean, Jim Fox just doesn't say that. If you guys listen to the games, iHeartRadio, shout out to the Kings on iHeartRadio. Anyways, when Jim Fox says something, I believe him. He's a really smart analyst,
Yeah,
and
he is.
totally respect him. Anyways, I'm sorry, Cody. I kind of went on with that. Go back to yours.
No, you're good. The last thing I have is about that game. Fowler left the game in the first period and only playing 21 seconds. I think he got hit with. I missed the start of the game, but I believe he got hit with the puck in the head face and everything, and he was done. He came back today and he had the fishbowl, the full mask on, and you could see he had a big old gash. But I'm glad to see at least he's back. And
You know,
then,
any yeah, well, anybody thinking that hockey's these guys aren't men, I'd be wearing the fishbowl all the time
oh yeah,
because you know, look at Drew Doughty's smile after the game.
Drew
Or
Daddy.
most of these guys, they're missing their front teeth. I mean, they've taken a puck there.
Yeah.
Just imagine having a toothache. These guys get their teeth knocked out. I'd be wearing the would be wearing a cage the whole time. Go on, Cody.
All right. The next game was Friday against. We were at home against the New Jersey Devils, and we won this game 4-3. I predicted a 5-3 loss just because I think New Jersey is just a better team. But I can tell you, it's the man, the myth, the legend. Lukas Dost-Wall is his name. He was the number one star for sure in this game. 50, I believe they corrected it, but this is just what I had. He had over 50 saves, including a last second penalty shot for Jack Hughes. We'll get to why they had a penalty shot in a second. Oh, that pissed me off. But God, Lukas Dost-Wall, man. I still can't believe that reporter from Toronto called him a no-name goalie. Look at this guy.
Isn't that
I,
his second game with 50 saves or better?
yes. And the other one was the lost to the Maple Leafs when that reporter said he was a no-name goalie. And yeah. And he set a record, for I believe for Ducks or NHL. I can't remember for the most saves in a win in his rookie season. I believe. I can't remember if I read that right or not. Um, but
Feel
Max
free to
Jones,
correct him if he's wrong,
yeah,
fans.
feel free.
Send us a note saying, Cody, you screwed that one up because I'm not sure what the answer is. I'll probably be looking up after we're done with the podcast so I can pick on you next week. I'm looking forward to it.
But you know who, like for forwards, who's been surprisingly playing really well lately? Max Jones. He's looked good. He had a strong game with a goal and an assist. He's just, I like the play. He's crashing the net. He's making plays. He's forechecking. He's getting the big hits. I like the way he's playing. Um, Vetrano had also 2 goals in that game, and all I could tell you is, Vetrano, you owe Dostal big time. A nice big old steak and beer. You owe him big time. Like what, Vetrano? What were you thinking, knocking the goal off its moorings, causing the penalty shot? What were you thinking? I don't understand that. I don't.
He wasn't thinking. That's the answer to that question. He wasn't thinking.
And like I said, I love Vetrano. I really do. But I feel like as many goals he helps us get, is he also helps us lose with the stupid penalties. He does. And it's a lot. It's weekly.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, Vetrano, 2 goals. You owe Dostal big time. And I believe he even went up to Dostal after the game and was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was a." He's like, "I knew it was a penalty, but I didn't know it was a penalty shot." So at least he went up and apologized to him about that. But I can tell you, man, that fourth goal was a beautiful play. It was Gudis passed it across to Terry on the blue line right there, and then Terry hit Vetrano, and then Vetrano went forehand, backhand, lifted it up, and it was just beautiful play. Loved it. And then Gudis also had a great game with, like I said, that nice assist in that fourth goal. And I tell you that I think that what stood out the most, and I've seen nothing but replays on it on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, is just that Gudis hit on Jack Hughes. I believe that was like a tone setter for that game. Like, I love the Butcher. I love him. That was such a great signing.
The body cruncher.
Oh man, did you see the hit? He
Yes.
crushed him, and
Oh,
I
that's
love it.
that's Gudis's game. Totally.
Yes,
Gu-
and then because we had Fowler get hurt in the last game, Olin Zellweger is back. Also, there's another reason why he's up, but he's back up with the Ducks now. Um, but also sad to hear that Mason McTavish left the game in the first period. And from what I heard, is he is out week to week. I'll get back to that later as well. Terry finally came back in this game, but no Leo Carlson. And then we'll go on to today's game, Anaheim versus the Vancouver Canucks, who's believe it or not, it was a 2-1 loss in this game. It was a pretty good game. I predicted a 3-2 overtime loss. God, I was just hoping we could at least get to overtime so I could at least be close. But Dost-Wall is he's what kept us in this game, man. 29 saves on 31 shots. And it's hard to believe that this kid's a rookie. It's hard to believe that right now.
Well, I don't. Do you remember going to see the goals in the rain down in San Diego?
Oh, yeah, I was cheering for Dostal to come back in net.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be number one when Gibson's gone.
Oh yeah, he's looked great. Dost-Wall. I love that nickname. Killorn,
Dost-Wall.
Dost-Wall. Yeah. Killorn had the only goal in this game with assists from Max Jones and Urho Vakanainen. Like I said, Max Jones has looked good being up in the lineup with all the injuries we've had. He's looked good up there with. I believe he's on the line with first line with Henrique and Killorn. He's looked good. He's proven a point where he's telling Cronin, I deserve to be up here, and he's looked good. I'll admit that. Um, Zellweger, he looks good up being with the Ducks, and God, I just love watching him just skate around and just fly. He goes from 0 to 60 so fast. His
His aunt
skating is.
Renee, his aunt Renee Zellweger is really happy he's up with the Ducks. That's a joke.
Yeah, but God, his skating is just so elite, and he's just fun to watch with the puck. and what he does. But God, the injuries still haunt the Ducks. You know, we had no McTavish, no Carlson, Zegras, and even Jackson Lacombe wasn't even in this game. I don't know if Lacombe's hurt or if he was a healthy scratch or not, but you know, got these why it's just the injuries keep happening to our top players, and it's it's what's hurt us this year. I'm not saying we'd be contenders or playoff bound, but can you imagine if we would have had McTavish, Carlson, and Zegras, and Terry was out for a little bit. Even before Drysdale got traded, he was out. I mean, I wonder how much different this team would look like if we didn't have all our top players injured. So yeah, but now we're gonna go on to game predictions. Back to you.
Well, just a point on that. Take a look at both our teams. Our first first line defenseman's out. First line right wing is out. Kempe and Mikey Anderson.
Yeah,
And then we lost Arvidsson, who's been out most of the year. It seems to be a trend right now that people are getting injured, at least in Southern California. You know, I can't say for everybody else because I don't follow every injury. So let's go
yeah.
to the Kings game predictions for this next week. So on Tuesday, um, guess who we get to play again? We get to play Vancouver, and I think they're going to be highly upset with us because we kind of dominated them.
Yeah,
But
you
you know
did.
what? Uh, Seeing the game today and the game against what was it, Vancouver and then New Jersey, um, Kings are looking good. I predict a 4-3 win against Vancouver. And maybe that's going to solidify us at least into a wild card, uh, playoff. So then Thursday we're going to play in the Ottawa Senators, and they should. I don't know. They're not having as great a season as I expected.
No, they've been horrible this year.
You know, but yet, how do we play against a team like this? Sometimes we let them in the game. You know, I was thinking, oh, we should beat them 6-2, but I kind of went back and went, I'm going to go 4-2, a 4-2 win. I hope they play well enough. I mean, last two games they've really picked up after not playing too well. Then Saturday we're playing against the Dallas Stars. You want to talk about someone who has your number? The Dallas Stars have our number.
They're
We
just
do.
good all around now.
San Jose gave up on Pavelski, and look what he's done.
Oh
And
my
then they got
god,
um, Jason Robertson, and I mean, it's just the Miro Heiskanen and what's
Robertson, Ottinger,
oh
too.
yeah,
And
you know
all
you
those
see.
three players were from one draft, the 2017 draft.
I don't know if anybody's seen the commercial where the seals the goalie. All he has to do is sit in
The,
front of there and
I
not
mean, the
fall asleep.
walrus. It was
The
a
walrus.
walrus. Mm,
Was it a walrus?
it was a
I thought it was.
walrus. No,
Well,
seals aren't that
anyways,
big.
I mean, Ottinger is like what 6'5", 6'6". He's huge and he plays big. And he
Yeah,
and I don't know. He's going to be one of the top 5 guys here, if not this year and next year, but the following year, I bet.
yeah.
Now that's all my predictions. We got 3 games for the week. Hey guys, let's go Kings go. If you can't watch them on Bally Sports, listen to them on iHeartRadio. Okay, go Kings go. On to Ducks predictions with Cody.
All right. On Wednesday, the Ducks will be playing against Ottawa, so we'll get them the day before you. So they're playing a back to back.
Tire them out for us, Cody. Tire them out for us.
We'll try our best. I have a four. I'm predicting a 4-2 win for the Ducks. Hopefully, we get some players back. At least Carlson comes back. Hopefully, I mean, even without them in the lineup today, we looked good against one of the best teams in the league. So I'm predicting a 4-2 win against the Ottawa Senators. And then on Friday, again, we get the team before they play back to back for you guys again. Or no, we get them Friday, you get them Saturday. So the
Ti-
Ducks will be
ti-
playing tire them out,
Tire,
yes.
tire them out, Cody.
Um, I got Anaheim versus
Gudus,
Dallas.
Gudus them, Gudus them.
That's the plan. Um, with this game, I have a feeling we're probably going to see Scott Wedgwood for the Dallas, and then they'll save Ottinger for you guys, which would be my guess. So it'd be Ducks versus Dallas, and I have a 3-1 loss to Dallas. They're just the all around better team, and that's also the day of the trade deadline too. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what the Ducks are going to even look like for that game? And then Sunday, I got the Ducks versus the New York Islanders. Um, and it's on Brendan's birthday. Shout out Brendan. That's his birthday.
Hey, Brendan, happy. We're gonna shout out today for you for your birthday, Brendan. You got to listen on this on Sunday. Happy 31st birthday.
Yeah, 31st. Yeah. So it'll be the Ducks versus the Islanders, and I'm predicting a 3-2 overtime win.
Is that
I have
for
a feeling.
Brendan?
Sure, we'll do it for Brendan. So I hope the
Because
Ducks win on Brendan's birthday. I do.
well, the Islanders are pretty good.
Let's see. The Islanders they're just missing out on the wild card right now.
Yeah,
They're
well,
6 points back right now.
yeah, you
But they
got
also
Barkov.
Barkov is no. You're thinking of Barzell.
Barzell, that's who I'm thinking. See,
I
I
was like,
screw up hockey names. That's my job on this podcast is to screw up hockey names so Cody can correct me,
yeah. I was
and
like, I
then
was like,
I can
no.
beat him up
Barkov is
later.
Florida. Barkov is Florida.
That's true. You're
Yeah.
right. I stand corrected.
All right, guys, and we'll be right back after this message.
Hey, Ducks and Kings fans, it's Cody's wife, Christina. Are you a romance reader looking for a new book club to join? Look no further than Buried in Romance Book Club. With a focus on dark romance, sports romance, including hockey, contemporary romance, and more. The club offers exclusive monthly reader templates, bingo, giveaways, and weekly check in chats. Join now and be one of the first 5 members to receive a cute welcome gift. Plus, don't miss out on our limited edition cover of Because You're Mine by Claire Contreras. We had such a blast collaborating on this exclusive cover. Join us today and let's connect with fellow bookish friends. Together, we can dive into the world of romance literature and share our love of books. You can find us at patreon.com/Buried in Romance Book Club and on Instagram at Buried in Romance.
All right, and now we're back. So now we're gonna move on to the
Hey,
news for the
hey,
week.
hey, hey, Cody. Hey,
What's up?
guys. If you're hurting for something to get your girl and she's a romance person, listen to that ad,
Yeah,
and because they'll love it, and you might get kudos or maybe something more than that from your wife or spouse or girlfriend. So just thought I'd
Mother
throw that out there. Another
Mother's
idea
Day.
for you guys.
Mother's Day is coming up soon, so if your wife
Yes,
or girlfriend is a mom, it's a good present, guys. So
just saying it. On to
yep,
on to Duck News with
with
Cody.
with me. All right, so the Ducks news is rumor is this Henrique and Carrick to Edmonton. Maybe
No,
I
no.
I don't want to see that. Trust me, I don't. I'd rather see Henrique and Vetrano to New York, and we get back
Yeah,
Capo. I believe it's like the trade I heard is Capo Caco and oh god, what was the other player's name I saw? It was one of their defensemen, so I would make that trade in a heartbeat right now. And then the next bit of news is Leo Carlson. Apparently, he left I believe the New Jersey game. Um, or no, it was a Sharks game. He left the Sharks game like he didn't have a single shift in the last 10 minutes of the game, and he's been out the last two games. I haven't really heard much about his injury yet, so I don't know how long he's out for. If he's day to day, week to week, I don't know yet. Um, but speaking of also Henrique and Carrick, I've also heard Henrique is maybe to Dallas, Colorado, and what was the other one? Colorado and Carolina too. But for Toronto, I know has also been linked to Carolina as well. So we got the trade deadline coming up next Friday. So when we do our next podcast next week, we'll be going over all the trades, hope and see what our teams do. And then so now, and as I said earlier, McTavish is now injured. I saw something on Twitter earlier before we recorded was he was seen leaving the arena on crutches and he had a boot on his right foot, and I've heard he's out week to week. And he was just getting going too with I think it was like him, Terry, and Vetrano. They were hot. They were getting a lot of good looks together. And then Zegras is no longer on crutches, so we have one player going on crutches and one player getting off crutches. They're saying that he should start skating in about 2 weeks, so I believe we're on like week 6 or 7 since his injury. I say take your time. I mean, I don't think we're gonna see him maybe the rest of the year. Maybe we'll see. Um, I hope we get to see him, but I just don't want him to aggravate that injury and make it worse. So, especially on a really nothing season again. So, and then Ilya Labushkin was traded earlier this week to Toronto. I would say great move by Verbeek. We traded a 4th-round pick and we got a 3rd-round pick back from him. I believe the trade, and let me pull it up real quick. I had it right here. It was a 3-team trade. Toronto got Ilya Labushkin, and they only had to pay 25% of his salary. And they also got a forward, Kirill Slupitz. Carolina also retained took 25% of Labushkin's salary for a 6th-round pick from Toronto. And then the Ducks got a 3rd-round pick. So I'd say good bit of news from Verbeek right there. Good move, I would say. And then last bit of news for the week. Congrats to Adam Henrique on being a dad. Maybe he's got that dad energy now, as what they like to say. The no sleep energy. So that's my bit of Ducks news for the week. We're going on to Kings news.
All right, Kings fans. Obviously, we already know that Drew Doughty's partner in crime, Mikey Anderson, he's out week to week, and he's probably the best defensive defenseman that we have. Ask Connor McDavid. He tortured Connor the last 2 playoffs. Although it's hard to stop him, he's definitely slowed him down. Then we got Kempe out week to week, and I just saw something, I think it was yesterday, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm hoping that's not true. And then this was a question from midweek. Should we buy? Should we sell? Or should we stand pat? Just a thought. Something for you guys to think about. Tell me what you think. What would you do if you were Rob Blake? And the other great news is Doughty has found his game. He's really picked it up and played strong. Now, this is something I just saw. Trade Kaliev and a 2025 second-round pick and get Riley Smith and Max Pacioretty in a 3-team trade. And it includes not a big cap hit for the Kings. So you get two pretty good forwards there for a guy who's not producing right now, but with big upside. Kaliev and a second round pick. You know, with
I like the trade, but is he skating? Because he's been hurt a lot the last couple years.
I didn't look that up. I just thought, even Riley Smith would help out with Kempe being out.
You know, if you instead of Pacioretty, maybe go for Anthony Mantha from Washington.
Well, that's what was reported. I just saw it and I thought I'd throw it out there and see what people think. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah.
And really, guys, if you're with me, that middle question I asked about should we buy, sell, or stand pat, that changes from game to game because, man, they've looked bad and they've looked good. I can't figure out why we look so bad, and then we look so good. So just let me know what you guys think. And just remember, go Kings, go. On to league news.
All right, league news. This is something we forgot to talk about last week, but Columbus fires their general manager, Jarmo Kekalainen. That's a name, isn't it? I think he was probably one of their best general managers they've ever had. He was there for, I believe, 12 seasons, 12 years.
11 or 12, I believe you're right.
Yeah, I think they went to the playoffs. I want to say 7 of those seasons, and I believe he was the first general manager to have a playoff series win as well under Columbus. So I would say the main reason I think why he got let go was the whole Babcock situation. So, but
yeah, that didn't look good.
No. So, I know they're looking for a new GM now. I think they're gonna, from what I heard, is they're gonna wait till the end of the year to see who's available and everything. But I believe they wanted to do this sooner rather than later. That way they can get a head start to see who's available, from what I've heard. Let's see. And the next bit of news is Jamie Drysdale, former Duck, is hurt and he's out week to week. My heart goes out to Drysdale. I hope he's okay. He took a nasty hit. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was a pretty nasty hit. It was clean, but
unfortunately, one of the reasons I think the Ducks traded him is because he's hurt too often.
Yeah.
And he needs scoring. So the kid they got, I'm wondering, but when the college season's over, is he going to be up with the Ducks? What do you think? That's not even in our notes, but I thought I'd throw it out there. I'm throwing Cody curveballs left and right. It's that, remember the flip curve, Cody? I threw you a flip curve.
Oh, God.
Of course, you could always hit it. Nobody else could.
Yeah. The next bit of news is the Jake Gensel trade. Is he going to get traded or is he staying in Pittsburgh? From right now, I know he's actually hurt right now, but I heard he's supposed to come back close to the right at like a week after the trade deadline. So he's only out like week to week and everything. So we'll see what happens with that. From what I read is Jeff Merrick said it's going to be either Vegas, Vancouver, Florida, Carolina, or Edmonton for Jake Gensel. I just hope it's anywhere but the Pacific, pretty much.
Stay in Pittsburgh.
I know they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're 10 points out right now, so who knows? Next bit of news is Matt Rempe is Fight Club. Man, he's just going toe to toe with all the big fighters in the NHL. He went against.
That's how you make a name for yourself, though. You make your name for yourself doing that.
And he's making a name. I believe he has almost as many fights as a lot of players do in all season. I mean, he went toe to toe with Matt Martin in the Stadium Series game, and then he went with Olivier from Columbus. Then he went against Nick Delorier
Ooh,
against Philly. Yeah,
ex Duck.
ex-Duck,
Wasn't he a draft pick of the Kings too? Do you know
I
where he
don't
is?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Something
Um,
else you guys can tell us. Tell us what we don't know.
seriously. Let's see. I know he went, and then he just fought Matt Reeves, or was it Matt or Ryan Reeves? Ryan Reeves. Matt Reeves
Ryan
is like
Reeves. He's a
Ryan
tough
Reeves.
guy. He's a
Yeah.
tough guy.
So he's definitely making his rounds, and I don't know if you saw like the picture, but he had like a big old black eye on his left eye.
Oh, I didn't see
He's
that picture.
oh, like he he he's definitely making his rounds, and but he's a big boy though. I can tell you that. Um,
Yeah, he's the talk of hockey, isn't he?
yes. All right. The next bit of news is Elias Pettersson signs an 8-year extension worth $92.8 million at 11.6 million AAV. God, there was a lot of rumors this last week about him. Is he signing? Is he gonna get traded? Because I heard Carolina made actually a actual offer for him earlier this week.
Wow.
Yeah, so Carolina was
He,
like
he's
saying like, "Hey, if you
he.
don't sign him,
We'll take him.
yeah."
Who
So
wouldn't? Who wouldn't want him? He's a player.
I was hoping the Ducks would sign him or trade for him this this offseason if he didn't
Well,
sign.
he would be a definite big plus for them. That's for
Oh,
sure. I mean,
well,
any team. I think he'd be
any
good at
team,
any team. Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely worth the 11.6 million. And then the next bit of news is Patrick Kane scores the game winner in his first game back in Chicago on Chris Chelios retirement number night.
Well,
And
what did
I
you
mean,
expect?
it's scripted. No, I'm just kidding. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
his
go right
first
by
game,
me, score the goal,
but like
game winner.
he was wide open. There was nobody within 10 or 15, 20 feet near him. He even like looked back and then looked forward. He's like, "Oh, yep, I got this." And the thing is, I know Red Wings fans and Blackhawk fans like hate each other because they were rivals going, you know, uh,
Yeah,
going up and everything until the Red Wings switched over to the Eastern Conference. But when have you ever heard of big rivals like that, especially two original six teams, where the fans, Chicago fans, cheered that Patrick Kane scored against their team, and their team lost. The fans were screaming and yelling and jumping for joy because he scored.
well, he brought 3 cups to Chicago.
Yeah,
You know, he's Hall of Fame player. Fun to
probably,
watch.
probably,
Prob
probably easily one of the best USA born players of all time. One
God,
of them,
did you just read my mind? I was gonna say that. Wow,
like
awesome.
like father, like son.
Wow.
And then the next bit of news is Martin Neches is on the trade block for Carolina. I know I don't think he wants to sign there, or it just can't afford him. So I heard that he could be on the move. You never know.
He'd be a nice pickup. He's a good
He,
player.
he would be a nice pickup for any team, you know. And then
I
you
want
want
the
to.
last. I want the last
I
one.
was going to give you the last one.
You better.
Yeah,
Not that I'm happy that the greatest King goalie of all time is staying in New York for one more year, but I'm happy for Jonathan Quick. He's played well for them. I
he's
mean,
been maybe one of their best players all year.
well, he the guy ahead of him is incredible. He hasn't had his best year, but I think he's picked it up lately, has he not? To Shurkin?
Well, no, he's since the All Star break. Shosturkin, I think, has been the better goalie. But before that, I mean, you want to hear the stats? He's 13-5-2 with a 2.45 goals against, a 916 save percentage in 21 games with 20 starts this season. I mean, and this is also when the Rangers were also dealing with injuries. I believe Adam Fox was down, and I believe one of their other top player, Keandre Miller, I believe, was out. Philip Hedl was down. So he's what I think is what kept the Rangers up top. So
See, all us Kings fans are waiting for him to retire because there's going to be a statue of Jonathan Quick outside of crypto.com, which
he deserves it.
I'll be honest with you, I want to call it Staples Center still.
It is
It's,
Staples Center.
it's just like Honda Center is the pond. It
It's the
should be the
pond.
pond. I mean, they're ducks. They want a pond.
Of course, I
So,
do like the Locked On Ducks host where he calls it the Ponda. I do like that.
yeah,
Um,
he's good.
yeah. So Jonathan Quick signed a 1-year extension worth 1.75 million, and I say that's a good. He came out and said that he wanted, I think, to play one more year, and he wanted to stay with the Rangers, his hometown team. So I think he deserved it. He's
Yeah,
looked great.
he has. No doubt about it.
All right.
As long
And
as
then
he's not playing the Kings, I say go, Quick, go. Now,
um,
other news. Let's talk about other news because this is my idea,
yeah,
right? The 3-on-3 overtime. What it was exciting. Would you all agree it was exciting when it first started?
I loved
You
it
know, you know,
when it first came out.
but now we've got strategy coming into the overtime rules. And it's just like the NBA. Do you know that at one time the NBA did no shot clock? And I think the lowest scoring NBA game in history is 4-2. This is basketball, not hockey. 4-2. So now they're controlling the puck all the time, which is not always very exciting. Because when they're playing 3-on-3 full on, I believe the Kings Ducks game, that was pretty exciting overtime. They
I thought
really
so.
played. That was fun to watch. But sometimes, and I know the Kings do it. They bring the puck back. So they can switch out the guys. And sometimes they're killing 3 minutes of the overtime. So
Yeah.
at least they don't lose there, and then they'll go to a shootout. Now, here's some of my thoughts, and we want to hear your thoughts on overtime too. But some of my thoughts: a shot clock, just like the NBA has, maybe 45 seconds, not 30 seconds. I think that's maybe not enough time, but a 45-second shot clock. You better shoot. Then the other team gets a chance, and somebody's going to probably score, and we're not going to have the shootouts all the time.
Yeah.
So that's just one of my ideas. And Cody, I don't know if you have something you want to throw in there, but we want to know what you guys think.
Let's see what would be a good rule for overtime 3-on-3. Let's see. How about this? Instead of a shot clock, where if you get in the zone, you have to make at least a shot. If you go back, you have to give it to the other team.
So basically, once it goes outside the blue, if you take it outside the blue line,
yes,
what happens? You just give the puck to the other team, or you have a face-off,
or a face-off.
That sounds pretty good. I hadn't even thought of that.
If you get into the zone, the only way it doesn't become a face-off or a whistle is if, like, we'll say Ducks versus Kings. Say Fowler comes in and the Kings knock it out. Like, if it's like the Kings are the reason why it came out, then keep playing. But if Fowler's like, oh no, I want to regroup. If he goes out on his own, then face off. Or I think Jeff Merrick also said this on his podcast. Just get rid of the blue line, where it's just the red line is now they're on or offside. Get rid of the blue line.
Oh, so we were talking like what did we used to call that? You know, back in my days when we were playing soccer, there was no offsides, so you could just cheat and stay down.
Yeah, maybe do something like that.
And you know, another idea I had, and if there is a penalty in overtime, it's 3-on-2, not 4-on-3.
Ooh.
That's another idea. Okay, hey guys, we want to give you guys a chance to tell us what you think, because I think that's a challenge to come up with some great ideas.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
You want to go over the top trade targets for the next week, or you want to get out of here?
trade targets. Let's go trade targets.
All right. So the top trade targets, where I know this position is going to be very scarce, just because a lot of goalies don't get traded during the trade deadline. But Jacob Markstrom, do you think he's staying or going?
Well, I would say he's staying.
Yeah, he's staying. I think so too.
I mean, Calgary, they're pushing for the playoffs, and he's the main reason they're there. He's been
Yeah.
excellent. I mean, he's been a top 5 goalie
Yeah.
here lately. So I would say he's staying.
All right. Next one, UC Saros, Nashville Predators. I think he's staying for now.
I don't know. Do I see him? Sorry. Hey guys,
Oh, that's such a bad dad joke. Such a
yes, it was.
bad dad joke.
But you're
Oh,
smiling, and if they're smiling, guys, if we're all smiling and laughing, it's hard to hurt anybody else. So I just, but UC Saros, he's it's a lot of money to take on. It has to be somebody with cap space, or they got to trade enough money, or have somebody eat the money. That seems
yeah.
to be the big thing in all these trades now. Is they retain somebody retains part of the salary, sort of like when that Kings trade where the was it the defenseman to it was the Columbus, right? And they took $2 million of his contract.
Oh, the Provorov.
Philadelphia, yeah, they took $2 million of his contract, and
But wasn't that also to get what Sean Walker and was Jake Campbell off, or was because I
Jack
think
Campbell. Are you talking Jack
or
Campbell?
no? Oh, Cal Peterson.
Cal
Sorry.
Peterson. I'm going. Boy, we're talking an old King goalie.
I mean, the Kings have been the goalie factory, and then they go off to some other team because Quick was always the number one. So there's been so many of them.
And Quickie was awesome.
So Saros, staying or going?
Nashville's on the.
They're hot.
They're hot. I don't see what both these goalies are with hot teams. Why would you trade them?
Yeah.
I
say if he gets traded, he's getting traded in the offseason for sure.
You got to prove to your fans that you want to win.
Yeah.
When you have that time, now I can see why like New Jersey might trade for one of those guys because they want to prove to their fans they want to win, and they've got the offensive talent for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Their goalies are a little bit weak right now. First, and I think they're missing a defenseman or two. And they got a very young defensive core, which sometimes that inexperience hurts you. So
yeah. So the next goalie is Marc-Andre Fleury, the Flower.
Fleury.
Fleury.
He's not going anywhere. He doesn't want to go.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go anywhere. So we'll move on. This is the only one that I could see getting moved is Jake Allen from Montreal. That's the only goalie I could see getting moved.
Montreal has 3 goalies, so they have more than enough. Nobody's showing that they're the top guy, the number one guy. So I would think maybe New Jersey. might take a chance on him?
Yeah, I can see New Jersey, maybe the Kings. Who else was looking for? I heard maybe even um, Colorado too. I think they were looking for a good backup to help with Gorgiev.
Yeah,
Uh,
I could see, but it's the Kings have no cap space. How do
yeah,
they make that move? And right now, they're gonna hope that the cap space goes up enough next year. I go because they got to pay Byfield. Byfield's got to get 4 to 5 million, maybe a 2-year deal, bridge deal, because they can't afford to pay him a big contract yet.
yeah.
So
All right,
I
now
don't.
we'll move on to defensemen now. The top one is Noah Hannafin from Calgary. Um,
And
yeah,
he doesn't want to stay, does he?
he came out and said he wants to play for a USA team, a team in the US. I've heard the Lightning and Boston were the top ones on his list, but the thing is, he really don't have any salary cap or prospects or really draft picks to trade. So it's not for I think for Hannafin it's not it's kind of like where he goes, not when, it's where.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I think he might be an off-season move.
that's not what I'm because he's going to be a free agent. I believe he's a UFA. So I don't
UFA.
think
Okay.
I believe he's a UFA. The only thing is he wants to if he gets traded, I think he wants to sign an extension where he goes from what I've heard. So I think it's not when, it's where he is when he gets traded. The next one is Sean Walker, someone that you're familiar with.
I like Sean Walker. The only reason he left the Kings is because they had the young guys they wanted to bring up. It wasn't because he couldn't do the job. Um, I think he'd be a nice addition for
Yeah,
some of these teams. And what 3 million? Is it 3 million? 3.5?
it doesn't say right here. I thought,
Or is
on
he under
NHL.
3?
I don't. He's not on that salary cap anymore. I can't remember the top of my head, but I've heard that teams are even calling in to see if they can get Walker and Sealer together because they're a
Ooh,
pair. So, but I heard that Phillies
that's a good pair. They've been
that
playing
is a
well together.
they've been. Well, I mean, who would have thought Philly would be in the
In the
running
Yeah, I
in a
know.
playoff race? Who would have thought? But I mean, they've been probably one of their. I think that's their number one pair right now. And I know they're trying to for sure sign Nick Sealer to an extension, but if they can't reach a deal, I think they who knows. But Philly is just kind of hard to see what they do is just because they're in a playoff race right now. So we'll see what happens with that. The next one, God, this guy just can't get out of uh, trade rumors. Jacob Chikrin from Ottawa. In my honest opinion, I don't think he's getting traded because I believe he's from. I know his family's from the Ottawa area, so I don't. I don't think they're gonna be trading him.
Well, didn't they trade the farm to get him?
Yeah, pretty much. So I know they traded the number 12 pick overall last season. So that in a very good draft class. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's going anywhere. And
He's
then the
and he's still under contract too, right?
I believe he has another year after
Year or
this.
two, I think.
Yeah, he's right here. It says signed through next season with a 4.6 AAV.
Okay. Well,
So
that's a reasonable amount for a guy of his talent. So
yeah. The next one is Matt Dumba from Arizona. I totally forgot he was with the Coyotes. I know he's a pending UFA. He's a right side defenseman, which a lot of teams need. He can skate, he can hit, he can play both ways on the special teams, and he also plays 20 minutes a night. So I, you know,
What's his
cap hit. I have no idea at the top of my head.
he's always been a pretty decent guy. So I would think that he would be valuable. But he's getting up in age. So it's
Let's
got to
see if I
be
could.
30 something, right?
Let's see, Arizona. So I'm checking out Cap Friendly right now for you. It just wants to take forever to load. All right, let's talk about the next guy. Next one is, we'll go into the forwards, is Jake Gensel. I know we already kind of went over that, but you want to, let's see, where do you think he's going to go?
Gosh. I think, isn't he like Edmonton's top pick to go there?
I've heard that in Florida for him.
Florida's scary. They've
Yeah.
been playing
See,
really well. I don't know if you
well,
want to interrupt the flow they already have because they've been a
yeah.
top team, one of the top teams in the East.
Yeah. Let's see. So Matt Dumba, he's age 29 and he's making
Oh,
3.9 million. So not
yeah,
bad.
but yeah, he's got 4 or 5 more years.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if he wants a big raise.
We'll see. And then the second one is someone I've already talked about is Adam Henrique. And he's the top center on the trade market right now.
Rangers. I
Yeah,
think of the
Rangers.
Rangers like you do. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is Pavel Buchnevich from the St. Louis Blues. Let's see. He Buchnevich is signed through next season with a 5.8 AAV. From what I've heard, is they want 2 first round picks for him. So, and I think the top team I've heard from him is Vegas. If he does get traded.
Wow,
So
they're not cap friendly either. So how do they take that?
they always find a way somehow.
Dump somebody on the injured list that's not there?
Yeah. The next forward is Vladimir Tarasenko. Staying or going? He's
with the
he's
Rangers, right?
no, he's with the Senators. He was with the Rangers
Oh,
last
that
year.
he got traded there last year. That's right. He went to the Senators.
And from what I heard is
He's
he can't get traded to the Rangers if Ottawa retains any salary, he can't get traded to the Rangers since he was traded last year to the Rangers on retention. So I believe you can't do it again, even though it's a new deal, from what I've heard. So if the Rangers want him, they gotta go for the full 5.
I think he's going somewhere.
Yeah,
He's a
because
goal
he's a
scorer.
yeah
Somebody who needs goal scoring, somebody's going to pick him up. Whether it's the
yeah
Rangers, somebody will pick him up. Edmonton might pick him up.
yeah. Let's see, and then Anthony Mantha, Washington Capitals. He's on his last season of a 4-year contract at 5.7 AAV. Let's see, he had 25 goals in the 18-19 season. I believe he's at, I want to say 18, 19, 20 goals right now. So his stock is up right now.
Washington's selling.
Yeah,
They've been
they're
selling.
selling. Yeah.
They'll try to get rid of him. I can't guarantee that he'll get traded, but I would assume they're going to make an attempt because they're trying to rebuild.
Yeah. Let's see. The next 2 are going to be on the same team. You got Jordan Eberle and Alex Winberg. Let's see. Jordan Eberle teams might need a right wing who could provide a jolt in scoring. From what I've heard is that he might be going back to Edmonton.
Yeah,
That's what I've heard, the rumor. If they
that
need a
that
depth
makes
scorer.
sense. That makes sense. They're looking for a little help.
Yeah. And
You
then
know, Wen
Wenberg is
Wenberg's
also a center. I believe he's a center.
yeah, he's decent.
Yeah, he wins faceoffs, kills penalties,
Yes, I know.
and yeah, he's looked good. And then the last one is Frankie Vetrano. I guess, God, I hope that Verbeek, even though I love him on the Ducks, but I think it's time to sell him.
Well, he's got value.
Yeah, he's almost at 30 goals, and this is the most this is a career year for him on a team like the Ducks, and it's a career year for him. And think about it, he's played with Boston, he's played for Florida, he's played for New York, and he's having a career year with the Angels. Or I'm sorry, the Angels. The Ducks.
That was funny. Thank you. At least I didn't. I
It's
didn't
late.
butcher. I didn't butcher that one. It was you.
No, I definitely. It's late, guys. I'm sorry.
Somebody's gonna take him,
Yeah, and he has a year left too.
and if not, he'll be an off-season move.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's what I think.
So, all right. Well, that's the last bit of the trade deadline rumors that we have. So next week we will be going over what happens with the trade deadline with our teams and around the league. Because God, it's definitely not like last year. Last year we had like at least 10 trades minimum by this time.
It was an abundant amount of trades last year.
Yes.
It's always fun. It's fun and exciting. Change. Everybody wants change. So for some
Yeah.
reason, they crave change, and sometimes they need it just because it gives them an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens this year.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's all for this episode of Royally Quacked. Thank you for listening and supporting us. If you enjoyed this show, please leave us a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Royally Quacked to get the latest updates and interact with us. My socials are at Sminko1221 on Twitter and Instagram, and my dad's Instagram handle is at GarySpink21.
We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and suggestions. Let us know if you're Team Royal, your Team Royal, or your Team Quack.
Quacked. Yeah.
Quack. Quack. Until next time, this is Cody and Gary signing off. Go Ducks and Kings.